Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestle Wellbeing. I'm your host Jim. We've got another episode of the Unseen Battles today. Before we get into that, I'm going to talk about the Hawk Tag Foundation. I'd say for people that have been on the channel before, you will know what I'm about to talk about. But for those of you who haven't seen the channel before, first of all, welcome to the channel. Make sure you give us a subscribe. Make sure you give this episode a like and share it with your friends. So, the Hot Tag Foundation is a non-profit organisation based here in the UK that aims to share wrestling with children across Britain, particularly those in need. The things that the Hot Tag Foundation do include collecting donations of wrestling items such as toys, merchandise, and other wrestling-related goods, personalising and packaging the donations, prepare the donated items for distribution, and also distributing the items to children and young people mostly around the holidays, so around Christmas, and sometimes in partnership with hospitals or other charities to reach children undergoing treatment. In essence, the Hot Dog Foundation leverages the appeal of professional wrestling to bring joy and a sense of real life superheroes to children, especially those facing challenging circumstances. I'm going to play a quick 2-minute video from the Hot Dog Foundation guys. Make sure that you check those guys out. Absolutely fantastic. They've also got some QR codes to abundance of wrestling shows up and down the country here in the UK. Make sure you go check those guys out. But first of all, make sure you check this episode of the Unseen Battles out. It's going to be an absolute banger of an episode today. So we'll see you in about 2 minutes. Ready for So there we are, guys. That is the Hot Tag Foundation, along with all the fantastic wrestling companies up and down the UK, including our very good friends at UKW. Make sure you go check them out. But before you do that, make sure you check out this fantastic episode. I'm joined by a fellow podcaster and also a friend. He is the host of the Third Row Posse podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fantastic Gavin Irwin. Gavin, thanks so much for joining me.
Not a problem.
How are things, mate?
All good, all good.
Fantastic, fantastic, mate. Really good to hear. So, first of all, thank you for joining us. So, obviously, for people that aren't aware of who you are and obviously of the Third Row Posse podcast, could you just enlighten us as to what inspired you to start the Third Row Posse podcast?
Third Row Posse podcast is basically going to be like me and my nephew, there's like 20 years between us, but we're deciding to do like a podcast, like a fantasy league podcast. So we are. So we'll pick like 5 members of a stable or anybody we want and put them into like the next WWE game and then wrestle it out that way.
Fantastic, mate. So, obviously, with today's episode, we're going to start off with how you got into wrestling first, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty part of, obviously, the mental health side of things. You were saying just before we came on air that your mental health sort of like reaches into the into the 80s sort of thing. Is it something that has taken a long time to get a diagnosis, or is it something that you learned quite early on in life that you were struggling?
No, like for me, the whole thing started from childhood. So it has been.
Mhm.
I've been the popular loner, I'd say.
Okay, mate. So, first question, mate, is can you tell us how about your earliest memory of professional wrestling?
Earliest memory. It had to be back in the 80s, 1980s, World of Sport, watching the likes of Giant Haystacks and Earthquake on TV. So it would be. And then through the 90s, watching the likes of WCW, ECW, TNA, and then all the way up to WWE.
Okay, mate. Um, was there any particular moment or an actual wrestler or a specific match that sort of like hooked you?
Um, I would say going back to it and all, I wasn't really into the wrestling, so it would be. I'd be more into the storylines and stuff like that. So for me, watching wrestling, it got a wee bit like boring for me, watching like the WWF and all. It wasn't until like ECW where I saw Raven going in the back stalls with a chair and hitting Tommy Dreamer over the back of the head with it.
Yeah, mate, definitely. So, how did your love of wrestling and in particular the podcast evolve from you being a fan to deciding to become a podcast host? Was there a particular moment you decided to take the leap and start the podcast?
I've always been the lucky guy, so I have been. You know, the fan in the right place to get like photographs and all of wrestlers and all. And I've always done gaming podcasts and behind the scenes and all, produce them, edit them, do the social graphic and all stuff like that. So jumping from that to doing something I love, like watching wrestling, was easy for me.
Definitely. So, what would you say has been the most surprising or unexpected thing that you've learned about the wrestling industry since you started your podcast?
Ooh. Um, I'd say wrestlers are just human beings like the rest of us. So it would be.
Definitely would. So, in your opinion, what makes a wrestling podcast truly great? What do you strive to bring to your listeners that you feel sets the podcast apart?
Comedy. I want to be like a late night comedy show. You know, like on
Mhm.
the great like talk sports and American radio. So it'd be like swearing, having a laugh, having a giggle. If we get wrestlers on, just have them in character more than being themselves. So have their persona on. So say like the likes if we've got like Mick Foley on, have him as Cactus Jack, you know? Hear stories like that.
Definitely, mate. So, we've got a couple of quick fire questions, but for you, if that's okay.
Yep, go ahead.
So, who, in your opinion, is the GOAT?
The goat's gotta be I'll go totally out of I'll say Paul Heyman. So I'm not going to say a wrestler. I'm actually going to say Paul Heyman because if you look at it now, you wouldn't get any hardcore matches on TV or anything without Paul Heyman's mind behind the scenes and all doing everything, like in the ECW days.
Definitely, mate. So, in your opinion, what do you think is the best finisher of all time?
Oh, Stone Cold Stunner.
What's the most shocking moment that you've ever seen?
I'm going to say Mick Foley falling off the cage.
Who is a wrestler that you think is underrated, can be in any company?
Oh, Karrion Kross. So
I have to agree with that, yeah. What do you think is the best wrestling theme song of all time?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say Cult of Personality right now. I can't really say Chris Benoit, I can.
Who is your wrestling childhood hero?
Taz.
What's the best wrestling match you've ever seen?
I'm going to go The Standard versus Stephen Cardwell.
Fair enough. And last of the quick fire questions, bud. If you could have a match with any wrestler, past or present, who would it be?
For me,
Yeah.
I would go Sashimov Martina.
Fair enough. So, bud, we're going to jump straight into the mental health side of things. Obviously, if things do get a bit hairy for you, just let us know. If you do need a minute or so to compose yourself or whatever, just let us know. There's absolutely no pressure with this, bud. Like I say, really do appreciate you coming on and taking the time. So yeah, if you're okay with it, we'll jump straight into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we'll be back in 2 seconds. So, but first question I'd like to ask, mate, is what has been the biggest challenge that you've faced, both in your personal life and also being a wrestling fan?
It's the downers. So, see, whenever you leave like a wrestling match or a wrestling event, and when you walk out the door, it's the instant downer that gets me. So it is like feeling really like empty. There's nothing left for you and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Could you expand on that at all, please?
It's just been, like I said, like I've been the popular loner. So I have been all my life. Like I've not really had many friends or anything like that. So whenever you leave an event, you talk to people and all and say how great that event was and all. For me, I'm just going straight back to home. And like I've got nobody here at the moment. So I'm not in a relationship or anything. So whenever I leave, I'm instantly regretting coming home.
Okay, so when you're having these negative thoughts and obviously on this downer, what sort of thing what type of coping mechanism do you use to obviously keep yourself from spiraling?
It's a weird one for me. It's like the body shuts down. So like if I get so hyped up to go to something like a local wrestling event or like to the pay-per-view matches, stuff like that, I'll get excited for the first couple of days leading up to it, and then on the day of itself, I'm instantly feeling like really, really down. And then the suicide thoughts happen, and I'm just like can't get out of bed. But then my whole body doesn't let me concentrate on negative thoughts. It just closes down. So it does. So I'll just fall back to sleep.
Okay, and how do you think that wrestling as a whole has helped your mental health journey so far? Is it been sort of like a way of strength? Obviously, the determination to go to the shows, as you've just said, you're on a massive high a couple of days into it, and then on the day, do do you try and focus on that event sort of thing to get yourself to go?
I've had people reach out to me, like wrestlers reach out to me asking, like, am I going to this event? We'd like to see you. Do you want a photograph or something like that?
Mhm.
So that's helped me. I've also had like wrestlers reach out to me in DMs and all, just to see if I'm all right. Because like I'd probably go quiet there too on social media.
Definitely, mate. So, obviously, when you're getting these DMs from these wrestlers and such, um, is it quite a wholesome thing for you to have that thought of people are obviously looking out for you, sort of thing, and they are wanting to make sure that you're okay? Is that something that sort of like puts a nice light on things?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I don't really have much of a support system at the moment, so I don't. So somebody reaching out and asking me like how you doing, or taking like 5 minutes out of their day just to see check up on me, it helps me quite a bit. So it does.
Fantastic, boy. So, do you have any advice at all for someone that might be in the same situation as you, or might be in the same mindset?
Reach out just to anybody, just to reach out to them. Like if it's not a wrestler, reach out to like a family member, reach out to somebody. Like my DMs are always going to be open. So like I've lived with this for 46 years, so anybody can reach out to me and ask, what to do. I'll always tell them get help first. You know,
Definitely, mate. Definitely. So, obviously, when watching wrestling, fans have sort of like a hero and a villain that they connect on a deep level. What was it about your favorite hero's struggles and your favorite villain's motivation that saw a reflection of yourself?
I wouldn't really say there was any. I'd always say like I've never saw a storyline or anything that would help me that way. So I'm always interested in the behind the scenes. So it would
Mhm.
be, how everything works from the lighting, the music, and stuff like that.
And have you ever been given that opportunity to see the inner workings of a wrestling show at all? Has any companies reached out to you in that way?
No, not one. I'd love it, like, so it just to see what's like and all, and just to help out. Like, if I could help out, like, in storylines, my mind races. So it does at midnight. So it does. So I could do a whole like storyline of certain wrestlers going from point A to point B to the final. You know.
Mhm. So obviously, being a fan, there's a certain vulnerability. Obviously, you invest emotionally in the storylines and in the performers. How have you navigated that emotional investment, especially during times when a storyline or a real life situation, either with a wrestler or yourself, if you are going through a dark time, um, how has that impacted your own mental well-being?
I don't really know because I'd always say like I'm struggling, all the time with my mental health. So to see something like that on screen or something, it takes away like for 5 minutes. So it does like a YouTube video or something.
Mhm. So obviously, we've seen such as Rhea Ripley. She experienced a panic attack, an anxiety attack at WrestleMania 40 before she went out to face Becky Lynch. When you see someone such as Rhea Ripley, someone who's seen as like a larger than life superhero sort of thing, does that sort of make it quite wholesome that you're not really alone in thinking in having any dark thoughts sort of thing?
Yeah. And I suffer from panic attacks all the time, so do. So I know how that feels. Even going into the defense and all, I'm suffering from panic attacks standing in the middle, the line, the queue that go up. So that,
Definitely. So when you experience these panic attacks, is there a certain thing that you do? Is there a certain sort of like action that you do to stop yourself from being overwhelmed at all?
I normally hide, so I'd normally go into dark corners or something like that, where the light doesn't hit you or anything, so nobody can see you. Because like
Mm-hmm.
I have like these panic attacks where I sweat, so do. That's not really good for like female wrestlers when they say, you see all the sweaty crowd people and all. But like I constantly, if I know I'm sweating, then I'm sweating. So do.
Definitely, mate. So obviously, when you go into these shows and you've just explained that you have these panic attacks, is there anybody at a show that has seen you have these panic attacks and have they approached you at all, or have you told people to sort of like just leave you to your own device to try and calm yourself down? And how does that affect you?
I haven't yet, but normally I sit at the back, so do. So like I'm sitting at the back, just in the corner, just like trying to breathe and all. So do. But normally at halftime and all, I go up and talk to. I know some wrestlers, so I'd normally go up and talk to them. So it, or I just sit and then try and breathe and all. But normally it's like that during the show. So like if a match is on and people are watching the ring, I can breathe. I feel.
Mm. So would you say that that's sort of like your mental health thinking that the attention is on you, that people aren't necessarily looking at you? So is that what kind of eases you out of your struggle?
Yeah, a wee bit. So it does.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. So when you're going through these, when you're going through these struggles, sort of thing, um, is there anything that is there anything that you're thinking of at the time that you try to focus on at all, or is it just that you just let the time pass, sort of thing? Can you expound on that?
I'd let the time pass. So I'd normally sit there fidgeting.
Hmm.
Like if I'm watching a match in the ring, I can normally feel myself fidgeting, my hands and all, like scratching and stuff like that. So I just need that calm sort of for like 5 or 10 minutes with a match going.
Definitely. So, has there been a particular event or anything like that where you felt particularly overwhelmed at all? And what was the end result of that sort of like um, part where you felt particularly overwhelmed?
It's going to be the first time I went to the Inside the Ropes tour, so it would be. So they came
Hmm.
over to Belfast with Bret Hart, and I got the VIP ticket, so did. So I was all excited for that. But standing in that lineup, getting the photograph taken with him or getting something signed, I couldn't talk to the Bret Hart at all. I was just really like, I felt like I was getting closed in and all, so it did. And I just couldn't breathe at all. So it was like I made a deal with the wrestlers, like the Kings of the North, to wear one of their T-shirts to meet Bret Hart. So I wore that, and then I saw them at the end of the show, so it helped me, out of the panic attack. So it did.
Definitely, bud. Definitely. So, obviously, the platform that you created using your podcast is obviously discussing something that you love. Um, has this creative outlet become sort of like a form of therapy for you?
I'd say a wee bit it has, but it's getting it started up again. So it is. Like the first episode I recorded was 8 minutes long, and it's just me. And it's just like, oh, that's not good. The podcast should normally last like 45 minutes to an hour. So I need a person to like bounce off to make it longer.
Definitely. So if you could describe sort of like um, your perfect episode of a podcast, how would you describe that sort of thing?
I would say if I got the perfect guest, it'd be Session Moth Martina. I'd tell her just to be in character the whole time and
Hmm.
just be like, just go off on one, just like have a laugh, just make it more comedy, not more interview style, but I'd say more comedy style.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So obviously podcasts, especially those that touch on personal topics and what have you, create quite a unique bond between the host and the listener. Have you ever had any messages from a listener at all, saying that the style of your podcast has really changed the way that they feel? Has it been like so they might have been having a bad day and obviously they've listened to your podcast and they've ended up being happier because of the comedy style?
No, but I have had like a wrestler reach out to me. If I posted something on Facebook about my mental health, I've had a wrestler reach out to me via message to say, like, that's affected me. That's how I felt. Thankfully, there's more people out there who feel the same way. And if you ever need any, like, if we ever want to talk, we can.
Sound, mate. So obviously when you're posting the things on Instagram and social media and what have you, and you then get the interaction from people, um, especially when people are saying that they suffer from the same thing, does it create like a wholesome moment between you two, between yourself and the person that's messaged you? Because then you sort of feel as though you're not the only person that's going through that struggle.
Yeah, I would say it has been that way. So it has. Um, yeah, like I've had people reach out to me and go, "Yeah, you've helped me a bit." So we have like talking and all that way, but like there's a point where it gets to the point where it affects me that I have to close down. So there's like it's my social battery is really
Mhm.
low, so it is. So like I can't really like communicate too much about mental health before I know I have to close down.
Okay, but so is there anything at all that you would like to talk about, or anything that you would like to say, just to people that are watching that you think might help them if they are struggling the same as you are?
Um, for me, like I'm a loner, so I am. So my DMs are always open. If you have friends, if you have family, reach out to them. Like if it's like a 12-minute conversation on the phone, that's going to brighten up somebody's day. So is if you're in a dark spot, you can always phone like the Samaritans or a crisis line or reach out to anyone.
Definitely. So we have put the links to a couple of mental health charities in the description. We've also put links to addiction helplines as well. Put links to Gavin's Instagram as well if you want to go and follow Gavin. I also give him a message if you are feeling low. As we start to wind down, mate, if your podcast could leave one lasting legacy, what would you want it to be?
I wanted to be somewhere where people could come and listen to it and have a laugh. So it would be
Mhm.
just I don't want it to be serious or like have like important guests and all on it. Telling them like there's 1,000 wrestling podcasts out there with interviews. Just have a laugh with them. You know.
Definitely, mate. So, as we come to the end, bud, I want to ask you one final question. It is something that's a bit more light-hearted, just because obviously we've talked about quite a lot of strong, dark things on this episode. Can you give me your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, please?
How many?
4.
Or Paul Heyman.
Mhm.
Do you have to explain why?
You can explain if you like to.
Okay, so I'm gonna go Paul Heyman because he's the goat and I want to meet him one day. Someone coming up through the ranks would be the same. So I'd have Session Moth Martina and then Bonesaw. I'll have to keep it
But
local.
definitely, but I think that's a definite great Mount Rushmore. So, but before we finish, Gav, is there anything at all is there any advice or anything like that that you'd like to give to people that are watching that feel as though they're going through what you are going through? I feel as though they feel a bit trapped and aren't able to reach out. Is there anything that you can say to people?
I would say, if I'm going to be honest, I'd say drop a message, even just one word. Start off a conversation like hi or something like that, and then get the ball rolling. But like if you're in a dark spot where I am right now, with hearing all the prescriptions and all I have to go through and all the daily like downside and all to it, I'd say find a hobby that you love. If it's wrestling, try and achieve going to a wrestling show like once a month or once every 6 months and build that up. And then try and go and get like photographs with wrestlers. They're people too, so they're only too happy to oblige by it. But don't be like a front row perv or something and try and grab a female wrestler. That's not one. So it's not. But like just be there. Like if you can get a mate or something from wrestling just to talk to them about it like daily, there you go. You're starting to reach out. You're starting to feel a bit better. But always just watch yourself because you can only push yourself too far before the dark thoughts like get you again. So you can't.
Definitely, mate. So we're coming to the end now, mate. So obviously, I want to say a massive thank you to yourself, Gavin, for coming on the show. I really do appreciate you sharing your story and obviously sharing your struggles and everything like that. If you want to check out Gavin, guys, make sure you check him out on Instagram at @thebaldguy_13. And obviously, check out the Third Row Posse podcast as well. Absolutely fantastic podcast. I'm going to let you finish out Gavin. But before I do that, make sure you check out our next episode of the Unseen Battle, guys, which is next Wednesday on the 17th of September at 3 o'clock, while I'll be talking to Skylar Rose. Gavin, I will let you finish off, bud.
Okay, folks. Thanks very much for having me on the podcast. You can follow all my links, follow the links to this podcast, Wrestle Wellbeing, and I'll hopefully have another podcast out in the next couple of months.
Make sure you check them out, guys. Thank you, Gavin, and we'll see you guys later.